Hey everybody, this is TMG Podcast, episode 36, and this is our E3 special.
E3 special.
Over.
E3 is over. There was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot to cover. This episode will be solely focused on what was shown in the press conference, meaning the big three. We'll be going through it one by one. But
there was actually a lot more stuff announced outside the press con, but it would take forever for us to get through all of it. So
yeah, first we'll focus on the press conference first. This is Carlos, and with me is Will.
Hello.
And Miggy.
Hey.
Yeah, we're gonna go straight to it because we have a lot of ground to cover. We're gonna go through each reveal one by one, and first up is Microsoft. And I don't know, overall, Microsoft I think did pretty well.
Yeah, I think Microsoft had a pretty good conference overall. I think it was presented well. Like there were no lulls. There was no point when I was like, "Fuck, I hope this moves on and gets to the next game." You know, they were pacing it quite well, and everything they showed looked interesting. At least, you know, there was nothing that made me like, I don't want to bother with this, whatever.
It was the most entertaining press conference for me. And that's saying a lot because in previous E3s, Microsoft was never, well for me, it was never an interesting press conference. Now, for once, and it's now a very entertaining one. I guess maybe it's Phil Spencer? I don't know. Or maybe they just know what to do now.
No, it's their best showing in years actually. There's surprisingly nothing about Kinect was mentioned. There was nothing about
which I was expecting, because Kinect needs a little bit of love, but apparently they just don't care. They're more focused on really getting those consoles out and those exclusives, which is pretty good as well, I guess.
Yeah, so no Kinect. They didn't even mention any like extra Xbox One features, TV, whatever.
It's all about the games, like Phil Spencer
all
said.
Games, yeah. Which was
he stayed true to it. Yeah, there's no of those Snap TV features from the Xbox One. No.
Well, Phil Spencer did get a promotion with all that failed TV stuff, so
yeah,
I guess he felt obligated to deliver this time.
Which he did. He definitely did. The first thing that was revealed, which is pretty much a no-brainer, which I was actually happy that showed, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Because usually when it comes to Call of Duty, Microsoft has they're always showing the new Call of Duty goods in their press conference, and they started off with that, so that means it's not, because before they used to start it at the end, and it's
it was supposed to be the big reveal, but everyone's already kind of expecting Call of Duty.
Yeah, so I think the fact it's right in the start and it's out of the way already.
Yeah, because I think that's why, like, it's not. Call of Duty is no longer one of those games where like you would like get a huge reaction from revealing it last. So, because everyone is expecting that to happen. They did the same thing with Ghosts last year, right? So, I'm also agreeing that they got it out of the way right from the beginning, and they showed a gameplay. Well, I wouldn't say it's a gameplay. It was a scripted.
You think it's scripted?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was very scripted, probably from the single player campaign. Which is okay, because I like the single player of Call of Duty. And it looked like it had there was a lot of cool stuff it showed. There was a bunch of new toys, like the smart grenades and, like those.
Advanced Warfare is coming out to be more futuristic than Black Ops 2.
Which I like, actually. It seems more interesting that way.
It does, and there's actually a lot of cool stuff that you don't see. It's like, all these advanced, like, I guess, in the real world, it's like a prototype weaponry or technology. They're using it in the game, and it looks pretty cool. Like, I don't know, it's coming. For me, I felt Crysis when I was seeing this demo.
It still felt like Call of Duty to me. Like, ultimately,
really?
Yeah, for me, it still had like the bro, America, go, whatever thing, you know, going for it. So it still had that Call of Duty feel to me. And it was just a slightly different, I guess, different setting altogether.
We didn't get any Kevin Spacey, though.
No Kevin Spacey.
That's fine.
That was fine, yeah. You had the guy, like
I was disappointed.
You had the bro, like, Marine moment, like, get out of here, I could be okay, I'll see you on the other side, whatever.
I don't know if it's me, but I think Call of Duty has an iconic scene where an explosion happens, your character gets knocked out, you're in the ground, and then the screen is fuzzy, and some character, some friend of yours just comes up and gives you a hand, and then starts dragging you away. Because that happened with
that's a very common Call of Duty scene.
Modern Warfare 2, I think.
But this one had a twist. You lost your arm in the process.
And then all of a sudden,
I mean, that's what's in the trailer, right?
Yeah, that was in the trailer. So that means you're gonna get a bionic arm.
Yeah, you're gonna
in the game.
Is that Captain Commando?
You're gonna punch dudes.
I think it's pretty cool though.
I'm excited to what they have for the multiplayer because you saw in the trailer that you had a sort of jetpack thing. Because when they dropped off the building, you could see him like slowly descend, and then you saw like other NPCs like rocket jumping around. So it gave me hopefully a Quake vibe.
Yeah,
so
I have to agree as well because when it comes to Call of Duty, it's pretty much going straight. It's all very straightforward, left, right, and then straight. This one now you actually have to worry about.
There might be a vertical space.
Yeah, which is the reason why for me Titanfall really worked, and the fact that they're introducing this to Call of Duty, it might just work also for this. And Call of Duty is a series that's been struggling more like trying to change the formula, and maybe this one might help.
I don't think it'll change it as drastically as you imagine. Like, I'm pretty sure at the end of the day, it's still, you'll still feel like
run and gun.
Yeah, it's still run and gun. Like, honestly, if I could just critique the gameplay from what we saw, it looks more or less the same. It'll still be, like, run from point A to point B and stop in designated locations to shoot stuff. The formula is not going to change. But it's just again, like, the setting is different enough that it feels fresh.
Yeah, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No, exactly, right. I mean, Call of Duty's still selling.
Just give it a new coat of paint.
Exactly.
Well, that's what Microsoft started with, Call of Duty a demo, which is actually a really nice demo. It actually looked really pretty, but maybe that's just the particles, deceiving my eyes.
Yeah, it looks pretty because it's going to be like a controlled environment where you basically just run straight.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does look nice.
Next up, though, after Call of Duty, they went straight to another thing that's pretty obvious. They announced this, and that's Forza Horizon 2.
Yep.
And, well, before that, they actually also mentioned that there's also like a free map for Forza 5.
Which will be the
Nürburgring.
Yeah, the German
track, yeah.
Yeah. They announced that, all you Forza 5 fans, you have a free map. I'm sure you're playing it right now. But after that, they announced Forza Horizon 2, and I don't know, I guess none of us have played Forza Horizon, but I know it's the arcade version of Forza. When Forza Motorsport is the equivalent to counter Sony's Gran Turismo. Forza 4, Forza 5 Motorsport is, the realistic.
It's like the Need for Speed one?
No, Horizon, yeah. Horizon's a Need for Speed kind of, well, not as Need for Speed, but more arcadey, I guess, in terms of how it feels in the cars. And I don't know, I guess we'll have to see because it seems the same as with Forza Horizon 2. But they announced it's going to be 1080p. It's out in September 30. So that's another exclusive for all the racing fans who have an Xbox One.
Forza is basically Microsoft's answer to Gran Turismo from Sony, right? And
yeah.
I mean,
Forza Motorsport.
Would this be like? Is this a game that you think you'd be able to enjoy even if you weren't really like a racing fan? Because the thing about Gran Turismo is it's very accessible even to hardcore racers. I'm actually very unfamiliar. Oddly, I'm very unfamiliar with the Forza series, so I'm just curious because
I'm not too as well. But
when I saw it, looked really nice.
It looked really nice, and I know that Forza Horizon is more of like the other route, like it's more arcadey. So I think Forza Horizon is a perfect title to ease yourself into the Forza franchise, and then if you want to have a more realistic tone, just jump into Forza 5.
Okay, right, yeah.
Because right now, I think also like when we talk about GT, Gran Turismo, even I think like Gran Turismo 6 or 5. I don't think it's as friendly as previous Gran Turismo's were, because I think now it's so realistic, too realistic to the point it's not as fun, I guess. Like every now and then you want to do Burnout and just race, just do nitro and all that. And then Gran Turismo is so realistic, you're kind of worried about your suspension, you're kind of worried about how you're going to take the turn, and it's just too, it's not for everybody.
It's not an arcade racer, basically.
Yeah, so Forza I'm assuming Forza's franchise, the franchise understands that, so that's why they have Forza Horizon, and now they also have, of course,
to cover all their bases.
Yeah.
Gran
Turismo is just Gran Turismo.
A question though, I watched it again, and I heard them mention that Horizon 2 is open world.
Oh, they're changing it up like that, so it's more of a Need for Speed-ish kind of thing.
The trailer didn't really show the open world part, but I do remember them saying that. So the first one wasn't open world.
I think the first one's more of an arcade, like you go through tracks, just like any other race.
Yeah, or maybe it's like Need for Speed, where it's an open world, and then the tracks are sort of sections of that open world.
So it's going to be like open world with nothing else really to do.
Look, wasn't Burnout Paradise an open world game, and pretty much you just
but at least in Burnout you could like change your paint scheme, and you unlocked cars by finding them around the map and racing them on the spot.
Yeah,
that was something. And the Need for Speed one had the police chases, which got annoying. So basically, this is going to be like Need for Speed Underground, I guess.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The Need for Speed Underground open world was kind of useless because there was no purpose to it. Like
it's just a means to get through.
It's just exactly. It was just a means to get from one race to another, and you didn't even have to do that. You could just click on the race on the map and you'd get there immediately. So it'd be weird. I'm wondering what other element they will include to.
Is it called an open road more than open world? I guess.
I suppose it's the same idea though.
Same thing, yeah.
Drive around the city as you like. But I'm actually also curious to see what extra element they'd add to make the open world road.
Maybe you can just open your doors and just drive.
That was cool though when they opened the doors in the trailer and they were.
That was different. That's funny when you just open the door, everything just felt different.
And then everyone started opening their doors.
Immersion, open doors. Immersion, open doors again.
And then there's no driver inside.
There's no. Oh no. But yeah, Forza Horizon 2 coming out. They mentioned a release date for this one. It's coming out on September 30.
Yeah.
It's September 30, 2014 for Xbox 360 and Xbox One. It's not a next gen exclusive. So.
I wonder if it means though when you say open world though, does this mean you can go off road in your Porsche and stuff? Like
maybe
can you do that?
Like
and then you'll see all the dust in your car.
You drive into the sea and see what happens.
Normally
you hit. And there's collectibles to do every now and then.
I'm sure there will be collectibles. As much as I hate that sort of stuff in driving games, it probably will.
I really hate that. Moving on. After the driving version of it, they also showed some Evolve footage.
Oh yeah, a new monster.
Yeah, a new monster, which I forgot the name.
Which is like it looks like a giant
Kraken.
Squid.
It looks like Cthulhu.
Yeah, it's like they showed it was a gameplay trailer, right? They showed a gameplay trailer. They pretty much revealed the second monster for Evolve, which is called the Kraken. And it's a little bit more of I don't know. He flies. He kind of floats, or rather flies.
He looks just like Cthulhu.
Yeah, he's more of like a projectile kind of monster, because the first one that was announced, it's just all brute force, just like, I'm just gonna start swinging my arms around and hope to kill the hunters. This one's more of a ranged kind of monster. Reason why that game is in Microsoft, because Microsoft announced that this could be...
First, it'll have the beta and the DLC will be...
first.
Xbox One.
Xbox One lang,
it is multi-platform though, just FYI, but it got set to stage here because of its beta on Xbox One.
For those who don't know Evolve, this is a 4v1 game, multiplayer game, and it's developed by the creators of
Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead. And it's simply 4 players playing as the hunters going against 1 player as the
monster.
As the monster. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty excited just to coordinate with hunters or play lone wolf as a
I think
monster.
it can go either way depending on your team, because like you can have like a dumbass team or you can have like an awesome team. I'm actually more curious to see how they balance out the monster, the monster gameplay, because
he could be either overpowered or really weak.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it seems pretty interesting because during the E3, what the developers of Evolve did was they kind of paired up with some of the communities there, like with Escapist, not Escapist, Nerdist, Twitch, and they had a Evolve tournament, which happened from day 1 to day 3. And I watched a couple of matches from Evolve. It was pretty exciting. It's pretty fun to watch because it's pretty cool to see the hunters slowly trying to track the monster and at the same time worry about the wildlife that surrounds the map. Because every now and then there's like a hunter that just goes down from some fly trapper plant or some wildlife that just knocked someone all over. While the monster has to slowly just try to evolve. Because apparently the monster has to eat the wildlife to slowly get some experience.
Right.
And armor. So, because I think the monster cannot heal. So the monster will have to rely on every time he gets damaged, he can eat in order to get more armor. And then once he gets enough, I guess, food, he can evolve into like the next stage. So pretty much the hunter has to find him as soon as possible because once he goes to, there are 3 stages for the monster. Once he goes higher in stages or in hierarchy, it'll be much harder for the hunters to fight. But it's very cool because like every hunter has different classes or different abilities. Like some drops turrets, some actually puts a dome to trap the monster so they can actually have a fight so that the monster won't be able to run. It's a lot of fun and I'm pretty excited for that.
See, but all those cool abilities sounds like and you have 4v1, so that there's more. I don't know. I'm just wondering how well it will. The ideal situation in my head is amazing, but in reality, will it really play as good as it sounds?
I hope
that's
so.
That's the question.
It looked fun when I saw in the tournament. Like we're not seeing like a dominance of one side, like always the hunter winning. Like Monster will always like come out with a win out of nowhere because he was able to focus fire on the medic and stuff like that. Hopefully, when it comes out, it'll be just as cool as what I saw. But I think I'm gonna play this game with a couple of friends. I'm not gonna bother with the whole quick match. I'll find like 300 people from the net.
Apparently, there have been a few gameplay videos of this that surfaced, and it's like a Monster Hunter fight where it takes a while before the matches end.
Oh, okay. So that's sort of the vibe I got. It's like it's a Monster Hunter game where one player actually controls the monster.
Yeah, and apparently, for now the balancing seems to work because, like you said, there's no dominance of either side during the fight. At least that's what I've been hearing. I haven't actually seen the videos because I heard they go for like 30 minutes long.
It takes a while, yeah. Especially when the monster starts to gay it out. Like
he'll start hiding and eating.
He starts hiding, and then whenever one of the hunters gets stuck by one of the, because there's actually like traps from the wildlife. Like there's like that fly trapper that I mentioned. I remember one match where I saw one hunter get stuck by the fly trapper, and all of a sudden the monster swooped in, knocked out the medic, and just focus fired at the medic and just ran away. So they're down to like 3 people. So he was like getting it out. So there's like different tactics, which is actually pretty cool. So hopefully the balancing comes out great.
Did they announce when the beta will begin?
No, they didn't announce No, they didn't actually. What happened in Microsoft was pretty much just them showing some gameplay footage, showing the Kraken for the first time, and mentioning that Xbox One gets, I guess, DLC first, not exclusive. They get the DLC and the beta first on Xbox One.
Right.
So yeah, Evolve. It's coming out this year. I'm excited. Most likely I'm going to play with you guys, so we'll see what's going on.
Yes, and we'll have another Let's Play to put up. Although we should try and finish our others first.
Next up, I'm not too sure I'm already right in the order, but right after Evolve, we actually get first glimpse of Assassin's Creed.
Yep,
Unity.
Assassin's Creed Unity.
Yes, Assassin's Creed Unity, which again is also multi-platform.
I was expecting actually Assassin's Creed from the Sony side, but it's actually a shocker to see in Microsoft because usually Assassin's Creed has those 1 hour exclusive for PlayStation 3 or PlayStation.
Actually,
Ubisoft
I want to
that.
mention that what they showed at the Xbox conference was not as impressive as what they ended up showing in the
Ubisoft one. Yeah.
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 What did you guys think of it? Because when I saw the, speaking strictly for this Xbox trailer, it didn't really impress me that much.
The demo? Because like Assassin's Creed Unity, what they pretty much revealed is it's an Assassin's Creed that is 4-player co-op on the campaign. Does that strike it interesting?
It looks like they just sort of cleaned up a lot of the animations, but the gameplay itself hasn't drastically changed from what we're used to from an Assassin's Creed game. Essentially, the what they showed, what I felt was they cleaned up the animations a little bit. Like it looks a lot smoother how the guy like parkours around now.
Yeah, they seem to have new climbing animations.
But essentially the essence of it is still the same. Like you're still climbing over the same wall. The gameplay looks exactly, pretty much as we would expect from an Assassin's Creed
It's
game.
pretty much the same thing. It's just now you have 3 other people to also play it with.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
But the other thing is again, this is what I got from the Microsoft trailer. Because on the Ubisoft trailer, I feel like they showed a lot more of the running around and the parkour, and it seems that they made the main character a lot less clunky. Like he moves a lot more fluidly than in older games where you might get stuck like running
in the environment.
Yeah, and or you end up jumping in a direction you don't want to jump.
Yeah.
Now it seems like it's a lot more smoother.
Yeah, it seems to have at least the movement from Watch Dogs. I think even the cover system looks very similar, which is a good thing because, it's not like you're controlling a brick who constantly gets stuck in the environment.
But I just hope that they fix the whole...
The combat looks exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
It does.
Garbage combat.
And it's already garbage combat to begin with because it's so easy. Like, you don't have to buy anything. Just use your damn knife. It's easy,
but at the same time really annoying and taxing.
Yeah, it is taxing. And it's the same... I don't know, since, I guess, Assassin's Creed 2, it's the same also enemy types. It's the same things that you could do to avoid or to tackle.
You block, you parry, then counterattack. That's it.
Yeah, and then they don't really change it after that. So... Do you think adding 3 friends to this will change your or maybe you will actually consider buying this one just because you want to play with friends?
For me, I would play it.
No.
I like co-op, but I'm still in the same boat because it's still the same thing.
Yeah,
I don't know if...
I think that's the biggest question that came out of this. How will the single player play? Is your character going to be an important type of character again?
No, is there actually be a main protagonist Connor, or we're gonna have 4 people talking and there's no actual focus from one of them? It's just one.
Or
group.
Is it gonna be you're playing the same
a 3 Musketeer thing?
Or maybe you're playing the same guy in all games, but if you go online, you become a regular assassin.
Yeah.
To the other player, maybe.
That's the question. If I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I'm not too sure if it's gonna be every single cutscene you'll have all those 4 people there talking and interacting with the story, or you can have one or yourself, going through the storyline and everything. I hope they don't have any multiplayer. I hope this is their multiplayer.
No competitive multiplayer combat?
Yeah, Wipa. I mean, they have online now. Just how Dead Space didn't bother putting competitive online because they already have co-op anyway with Dead Space 3. So hopefully, cause I don't know, I never liked the online of Assassin's Creed. I kind of all I need is 1 day to actually just enjoy it, and then I won't find it anymore. Assassin's Creed Unity's have been confirmed 4-player co-op.
What Will mentioned about the comparison between the Microsoft demo of Assassin's Creed and the Ubisoft one. The Microsoft one seemed to go for a more cinematic approach.
Yeah.
Since they showed us what looks to be a story mission.
Yeah.
While the Ubisoft one just started you off in the open world environment, and crime was happening left and right that the player ignored.
Right.
And he went for a story kill.
That's why the Microsoft one had a lot more scripted scenes ongoing. It wasn't that was gonna be open world what was happening, right?
Yeah, but it's fine because we did get to see both sides of the game.
Yep.
One being the co-op and one being just the regular open worldy aspect.
That's true. At least we were about to see 2 aspects of it, which is I don't know. I'm still scratching my head if I want to finally jump in Assassin's Creed.
It's bugging me that it took them this long to make a co-op Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, I guess
that would be easier than the whole online thing that they tried to do before.
Very true, and it's so easy to do. I'm sure because
they could have done this with like the Ezio Brotherhood game.
They could
do recruit and stuff there.
That would have just been perfect, actually. Yeah, and isn't Brotherhood like after the second one?
Yeah, after the second one.
Yeah,
when he has his facial hair.
Which is pretty much when they started the online Brotherhood.
Yep.
We'll see. I don't know. I didn't buy Black Flag. I hated Assassin's Creed 3.
And I think this is not going to change your opinion of the game at all.
Even unless I have 3 people really bothering me to play it, I'll just play it just for if ever I have friends to play it with. But as a fan or just excitement, I don't think I will be buying this on day one as much as it's a yearly thing.
Plus, we have that other one that's rumored to be coming out.
Well, yeah, there's one more, but it hasn't been announced, so we'll see. Moving on, we get more premium content right after Assassin's Creed, which is from Dragon Age Inquisition. I don't know, they released a trailer of Dragon Age Inquisition, and after that they announced premiere content.
Right. The trailer they showed was purely cinematic, though, right? They didn't show any gameplay as far as I remember.
No, they did. They showed the parts where they were dodge rolling everywhere.
Oh, which is most of the trailers, actually.
They fought the dragon, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, Dragon Age Inquisition, I'm not really watching it or anything, but it does look really pretty, and I might pick it up when it comes out.
I haven't played the old games, but was the combat always like that, or is this a new take on combat?
It's hard to tell with Dragon Age 1 was more like a precursor to Baldur's Gate or Icewind Dale. So, and that kind of gameplay is pretty much you on a top view, controlling a couple of characters, and
Baldur's Gate had a more Diablo-esque combat system.
No, more of a. It actually has its own system where it's more strategic, where you can actually plot commands to your characters while the game is paused, and once you resume it, they start executing it. So you have more control. You have more control of what's going on.
What sucked was they only showed that advanced control scheme for like half a second, and only through like a PowerPoint slide, right? As opposed to the action-oriented style of combat, which they were showing in full force.
Yeah, the action-oriented style actually was more in Dragon Age 2, where you don't have to bother to be just like how it was in the first one. You can switch from that type of game or that style of play or straight up action RPG. Maybe a little bit of Diablo, so it's a big mix. For Inquisition, I think they're going the same way, but it looks like they're presenting it as if it's better played as an action RPG.
Which
just like how I'm doing
I don't know. I want more of Origins in this rather than 2. I much preferred the combat in Origins as opposed to.
Yeah, I much prefer the combat in Origins, but I think it kind of would sell better if they make it look like an action-oriented game, and then all of the things that we like about, like for example, like Baldur's Gate gameplay.
Yeah,
it's all tucked inside, and if you want it, just open it up.
Just open it up. We also made mention. I think this is where we noticed that the boss fights, at least against the dragon, which they showed, it had a very Dragon's Dogma flair to it.
Yeah.
Would that be a fair assessment? I mean,
you can't climb on it. You can't climb on it.
That's the only thing. You can't climb on it. But the fact that you're constantly dodging around and actually it looks like an action game.
Yeah.
More than an RPG.
It's like an action game, and when it comes to these epic fights, if you notice, I think when you go to the EA press conference, they showed that when you fight these dragons, or I guess those epic boss fights, for the dragon one that they were demonstrating, they had each limb had a life bar.
Which is just like Dragon's Dogma, where some parts have life bars.
Yeah, because if you start bombarding on the right hand or whatever, right leg of the dragon, you will see some animations where he starts to limp or something. There's a reason to attack that portion of the monster, and it's a good touch compared to the before where it's just one target. But I like the fact that the dragon actually flies now, and then you actually have to worry about him, being a dragon.
Well,
Scale seems
fire
much
breathing.
larger.
it does not really.
And the scale is huge.
I disagree because I remember the scale in Origins was quite. They were quite large too. If you remember, there were at least 2 dragons you could fight in Origins, and they seemed quite large. Even the single dragon that you could fight in Part 2, was.
Yeah, there was a dragon there, but it's so hard to find. I remember it was so tucked away in the
Yeah,
road.
it was like a totally optional dragon.
Yeah, like, oh, there's a dragon. Oh, alright. I drop everything. I said, where is it? Where is it? I start looking for it. In the Inquisition, it's more open world, I think.
It is, yeah, and they showed some new characters. One was what we dubbed her as Black Maleficent.
Everyone called her that.
The Black Maleficent.
Because she really looks like a Black Maleficent. She's got the horns and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
They also have a horrible looking elf, right?
They had an
That
elf.
really drab-looking elf, yeah. She looked like she's from
yeah.
Baldur's Gate.
They showed the Grey Warden character who looks pretty generic, and then
They also had, for those who were Dragon Age Origins fans, they also revealed Liliana, which is one of the bard in the first game. So previous characters.
well, I know there's
return.
at least 2 returning previous characters. One is Varric from Dragon Age 2.
Yeah, Barry's coming back, and then Liliana from
Liliana as
Dragon
well,
Age
yeah.
1. So, but like you said, Will, like you were kind of depressed that the saves don't follow.
No,
for
exactly. That's so weird. Also, why the saves? For whatever reason, now I cannot import my saves. I have to make the decisions on a freaking website now of what I want, and then that.
Oh, is that what it is now?
Yeah, that's what it's going to be now.
Okay.
Supposedly, the reason why they removed the save feature is because of something to do with cross-platforming or whatever. But I still think it's dumb. Like
I think it's dumb too. But then again, I don't know. It's a whole different story from what it looks like. Like it's not about the Grey Wardens. It's not about whatever happened in Dragon Age 2 in that city.
I don't actually have no idea what's going on in this game, except it takes place. A big portion of it takes place in the Fade. I know that.
Oh, really? The Fate?
From what I understand, yeah.
I know it's like years after because
Is it? I still feel like this is going to tie up with the whole Morrigan thing from the first game, but
yeah, because Morrigan's also there. Varric's also there from Dragon Age 2. So the story is up in the air on what's going on. There's dragons, there's keeps, which is actually pretty cool because you can actually capture keeps, and then you can actually have an army. So I hope that kind of gameplay in the game would come out interesting, not more of a gimmick.
yeah.
Because they have like keeps that you can infiltrate, and once you actually take hold of that keep, you can start building it up from the ground up, getting armies, getting men, get defenses and all that. Hopefully it's not a gimmick, hopefully it's not like something added just to have a little bit of a buzz for the game. And of course, like I said, it's an open world for the first, well, not even the first time, but it's
They also
not Skyrim,
they also
but
mentioned 40 separate endings, which I think is bullshit.
that's all the colors.
They had more
That's
colors
all-
now.
Or maybe there's more colors than
40 endings. I mean, I don't know. I don't find that appealing. Like for me, that doesn't add anything or remove anything from the game.
It's probably gonna be like the same ending, but with some characters missing.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They'll cycle through each one.
They're gonna have like 4 main solid endings, and like the other endings will be just
Or,
like different variations.
yeah.
Like what Miggy said, one character's gone, or they add one screenshot.
That's
Or
some
they add-
marketing bullshit right there.
No, it is.
Yeah.
But like for me, like really, is having 40 multiple endings really a selling point for your game? Like, who cares how many endings you have as long
Your
as it's
choices
good?
matter. Ha ha ha.
Well,
Whenever I see multiple endings, I always think, oh wow, there's a lot of replayability. But whenever they do that and I see the overall endings, like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm not gonna play it again for that. I'm gonna YouTube that shit. I mean, it's not that
Especially
appealing at all.
considering this is BioWare, who mucked up Mass Effect so much that you know.
They had to
Yeah.
fix it.
Exactly.
They have to fix it. But I'm pretty excited for this. Hopefully it will pretty much relinquish all that whatever I felt from Dragon Age 2, because I was not that happy with it. So I'm pretty excited. It's coming out this year. Moving on, this is one game that I think is my pick for this year.
Oh yeah, and it fooled us.
So good.
It fooled all of us.
It fooled all of us, and I think everybody. I think
amazing.
Will and Miggy already know what I'm talking about. It's Sunset Overdrive. That game really impressed me, and I'm just watching it live in the stream. Sunset Overdrive is an exclusive game for Xbox One, and we get a really, really cool trailer and demo.
The trailer was awesome because at first we thought like, oh look, there's some generic.
I thought it was gonna be I thought it would be Call of Duty coming out of nowhere all of a sudden.
It looked like Battlefield with a cartoony art style at first.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, all the color starts flowing through.
First off, they show the door that's beside the third-person shooter man, and it said Insomniac Games.
Oh yeah.
And then everyone was like, "What?" And then the guy bursts in, and then all the color starts flowing in the stage.
All the awesome starts
coming. He
even
makes a snide comment by saying, "Cover shooter mechanic, huh?" Then does this thing and kills everyone.
And I don't know, it's a mixture of, how do I say it? It's a mixture of Infamous and Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and then you douse it with color. That's how it looks like. Because you're like raiding through wires and rails, and at the same time destroying monsters with really absurd weapons at the same time.
Yeah, and I love how the explosions show like
fireworks.
Like in the
they have like words, yeah.
They have words, and that's amazing. I don't know how this game is like I have a feeling it's an arena shooter. Like you pick a level and then you just go around and then score attack in a way. That's the feeling I get.
I thought it was going to be like open world with like areas dominated by monsters.
I hope it's open world because I think it's possible. Like we've seen Dead Rising 3, like
just like a playground.
It's like a playground, yeah. Because that's what Dead Rising was.
Infamous was an open world too, and you could use this game has some form of weird movement and travel.
Yeah.
Where you grind across rails and use your crowbar to swing around.
But the movement looked like really good, huh? Like I have to say
I bet it's gonna feel great and fluid as well.
It looks fluid.
The way it looks, like you probably magnetize the things when you just jump.
No, I hope it's easy. I hope it's easy to do.
It looks like that's exactly what Ming says. Like you end up magnetizing to whatever you jump to. So, I think I feel like it'll play similar to Jet Set Future if you ever played that.
Yeah. Jet Set Radio.
That's actually a better comparison to what this is really. Jet Set Radio.
It's Jet Set Radio with guns.
Guns.
Yeah, Jet Set Radio with guns. And I don't know, this is actually, I think, my pick for this year because it really impressed me because that trailer and that demo really explained what this game is on what they're trying to give us. It's literally what we are like forced to be fed over and over. We're not getting a cover shooter, a very typical cover shooter. We're getting a very vibrant, a very funny. It established its personality, its gameplay, and I don't know. I'm pretty excited for it. This is actually the first title I think that I would now consider getting an Xbox One.
Yeah, this is a very strong exclusive from.
It's a very strong, and it's coming out this year. So, I don't know. I strongly suggest you guys check out Sunset Overdrive. Moving on, we have. Well, speaking of playgrounds and whatnot, Dead Rising 3 comes out of nowhere on the Microsoft press conference.
Not just Dead Rising 3.
Wait, I don't even have the name in my list.
Super. You want to say it, Will? Say it. Say it.
No, wait,
do you have it? Because I just said.
Super Ultra Dead Rising 3 Arcade Remix Hyper Edition EX Plus Alpha
Dash.
That's a DLC, and we're not kidding. That's the name. That's actually the name. It's a DLC for Dead Rising 3, and it's pretty much.
It's a bunch of new costumes and a ton of new weapons and mini games. It looks.
Yeah, you can play with a couple of friends, and you're competing for points, and you're pretty much just like going through the stage. I think like going through trying to reach the helicopter, trying to reach the extraction point, and all you gotta do is just like mow down zombies in the most hilarious way possible. You're like playing like I don't know. You're playing the typical like the previous characters like
you have Frank West, you have Shaw from Dead Rising 2.
But what I found hilarious was the All the Street Fighter costumes and
Not just Street Fighter, man. They have like a ton of Capcom stuff. They had like Falcon from Power Stone, Kaijin Nosoki from Onimusha.
Yeah.
They have Shoma from Rival Schools, the baseball guy. That's some
I think
pretty
they
obscure
also
stuff. They even had
they also
Dino
had-
Crisis Girl. The one with the red hair?
had-
You didn't notice
they-
that. I didn't notice that.
they had Chun-Li, they had
Yeah, the Street Fighter costumes all have their like signature moves. Like
yeah.
they even had Mike Hagar who does a power bomb with a
Yeah, Mike Hagar, there you go. And wait, 1, 2, 3.
and zombie boss
5,
Bison. Don't
that's
forget
15.
that.
There's like 20 characters you could play around with. You can actually also play with Sigma.
Oh, from Mega Man X? Yo, that's sick.
Yeah. And then there's Felicia, which actually is Felicia with the new character's face. It's very weird.
Yeah,
They also have a Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, B. Bonnie Hood from
B Bonnet, sorry.
Darkstalkers.
Yes.
They even showed off Captain Commando at the end.
I don't know. It was a shocker. It came out. It's out now. It was announced. It's already available for
Yeah.
whoever has the right.
They did the thing where it said available soon, then they crossed out the soon.
Yeah.
So it's available today, right now.
And everybody started buying. I don't know.
Like-
It's pretty cool. I liked it.
Yeah, that's a good move. Because like when they showed it off, I guess everyone was just like me and said, this game is already out. Why is it at E3? Then it just like goes insane right after that.
It just goes overboard and
Yeah,
what's
like,
going on?
this is a-
This is a new game.
Then it's like
I don't
out
understand.
now. You don't even have to wait. That's a good move.
It's a very good move, and I don't know. I might, if ever when I get my Xbox One and I bother with the Dead Rising, I might pick this up because I don't know. It was just so trippy.
Oh, don't forget, it's also coming out on PC soon.
Oh yeah, of course.
true.
Yes. Speaking of which, Dead
But
Rising
I
3
think-
is
I
going
find-
to PC.
Right. I just had to mention that Dead Rising. I always feel Dead Rising is still better as a console title than a PC title. But
Yeah.
I have to agree. Yeah. My first experience with Dead Rising was from a PS3. So
PS3
Dead Rising 2.
really?
Dead
Wasn't-
Rising 2, he's talking about
Dead Rising 2,
Don't-
okay.
Don't panic.
I didn't pick up with that. I haven't tried Dead Rising 1. I went straight up to Dead Rising 2.
Should
so.
be cheap now for Xbox.
Yeah, I should do that. I do have an Xbox 360, so
And apparently it still holds up. That's what I hear.
that's from what I heard as well. Yeah. Moving on, pretty much the not one boring part, but more the lowdown part of the Microsoft press conference is they actually announced Dance Central Spotlight.
Yep.
Dance Central
So-
Spotlight and Disney Fantasia.
Yeah. Which is pretty much the only Kinect that they mentioned during the press conference, which is good. But it's funny that when they just mentioned it, they just went straight up. Okay,
No,
it's coming out.
it might be a Kinect game, but they never mentioned the word Kinect, I think.
Yeah, actually, the word Kinect was never used at all.
You know, from a business standpoint, you always have to like mention a brand or something during your presentation. But that goes to show how Microsoft seems to be dropping the Kinect. If they're not
Yeah.
even, if they're
I was
not, they're not even trying to push it.
Yeah, they're not pushing it at all. I was hoping that they would have some presence for the Kinect and all that, but
No.
this is the only thing that was shown.
The
It was
only
all
thing-
games,
and it
no
wasn't
gimmicks.
Even, it wasn't even shown. It was just discussed, which kind of sucks because, I mean, I wouldn't have mind if they showed just like one song
One
or
song.
something. Yeah,
From Fantasia.
especially the Disney Fantasia stuff because like we all know how the dancing games look like in general, but this Disney Fantasia thing is supposed to be it sounds at least somewhat different.
It's
Yeah.
the original is like classic orchestra, and they're gonna turn it into a dancing game.
Yeah, well, I mean, they can do that so easily with like the Frozen stuff. I'm sure they will throw that in there.
Let it go.
Exactly.
Let it go, Kinect. I mean, Microsoft,
but
let it go.
This, to be specific, is going to be from the Fantasia movies. So you're gonna have like the guy mentioned in the reveal, like Sorcerer's Apprentice, which is the one where Mickey Mouse steals the wizard's hat and brings brooms to life.
Oh, I got I freaked out when I was a child when I saw that. I don't know why.
So they could have like at least
Sing.
shown the trailer with that song playing and then random clips of the game dancing by itself.
This is made by Harmonix, Fantasia, Music
Yep.
Evolved.
They're still
Yep.
alive.
They're still alive, and it's an Xbox 360 and Xbox One.
Oh, it's not even an exclusive.
Not exclusive. And it's coming out this year, October 21. So it's a
See,
music
if
rhythm.
it's coming out
That's
this
how they.
year, why was there no trailer?
Yeah, but I guess they don't have to. I guess that's not their focus. They just want to put it there that, hey, you music fans or harmonics fans, there's something coming for you guys at the end of the year. And that's what they did. As well as also for the Dance Central fans. I'm sure there are some that kind of want to play around with Dance Central. Dance Central Spotlight, though, is not a retail version. It's going to be only a download version.
Yeah, it's a downloadable version.
Take note on that.
Which actually makes me wonder if these dancing games are as profitable as I thought they were.
Probably not anymore.
You know?
Like, the craze is probably dying out.
And yeah, I know, but do you think, I don't even think, yeah, well, Dance Central is pretty much the only one, right? Oh, wait, there's the Ubisoft
Just Dance.
one.
Dance Central is the weakest of the dancing. Not the weakest, but second fiddle to Just Dance.
Just Dance.
Is it second fiddle?
Yeah, Just Dance makes more.
Oh. Okay.
Which is weird because I thought harmonics and all, they would have a better grasp on these sort of music games.
I think it's the approach to the dancing game because Just Dance is like super casual and you can just run the song once and then try to learn the moves on the fly. While Dance Central, you have to learn each step first before like getting good at one song. Like it encourages you to practice first for every song, which I think is pulls away from the casual aspect of it.
True. Dance Central for me though, I don't know, I'm not much of a dancer, so I didn't get a kick out of it.
Well, Dance Central has a better grasp of the Kinect tech, like it reads your body more accurately.
That's the only game that works when it comes to Kinect for me.
Dancing stuff.
It's just the perfect game for Kinect. Don't put any shooters, don't put any puzzles, I don't know, just dance. just do it. But I like the fact that they just mention it because it's still part of their lineup that that works for them. They mention it, they set it aside, and then they kept going for just next game, let's go. And that next game is another co-op game. There's a lot of co-ops happening.
Yeah, it's like the return of co-op,
which is actually pretty fun. But I like the fact that it's not really co-op, but more like it's another 4v1 co-op game. And this is Fable Legends. It's, I guess, the next in the Fable franchise. It's not Fable 4,
which is not presented by Peter Molyneux.
And Peter Molyneux has nothing to do with this one.
And the other weird thing about it is
false promises.
It didn't seem like a traditional Fable game either.
Although
I'm pretty sure there will be a single player component. The focus of this trailer was more on the multiplayer. At least that's what I feel.
Well, it's traditional co-op. The gameplay seems the same as the previous Fable games. I was more just interested in the fact that you can actually be the villain in this game, where you can start plotting where the enemies show up, where the traps will sprung against the heroes, and stuff like that.
I don't know, it seems like the villain has like the disadvantage in the trailer because he sets traps like a malevolent god, like how they said in the reveal.
Yeah.
But like from the video, it looked like he was losing the fight, like instantly.
All the shit you're putting on your map,
it doesn't work. They're killing everything.
It's not happening. It's not working. I'm not killing them at all. But I don't know. I have high hopes for it because it's something new. They're trying to revive, I guess, the Fable franchise because as much as
they're trying different things.
Because Fable 1 to 3 is pretty much the same. It's just different scenarios, I guess. Or Fable 1 to Fable 2.
They added a dog in Fable 2
that you can kiss.
Oh, wow, I forgot about that. Yeah. And then the Fable 3, I don't know. I already forgot Fable 3.
And then that Fable Connect game.
Which no
What's
one
it called
remembers.
again? Fable Connect?
I don't know. It's like it's on rails and you're riding on a wagon or something.
Yeah, but we've known Fable Legends for a while. We just didn't have a full reveal of what it is. This is the first time they're showing it, and it's more of a co-op game. In the group you have 4 characters, and one is a specific class, and they have their own specific personality. Is this appealing to you guys at all?
No.
The game, no, really?
Overall?
Yeah, because there was the one class, the gunner type guy. He looked like a generic third-person shooter.
He's all
Like, but
brownish.
yeah,
Oh.
like the shooting mechanics look like a generic third-person shooter. But for me, it looked like the most solid class because the melee combat looks really dumb and uninteresting.
So the combat pulled you off already.
Yeah, like everything dies in one or two hits, and like it doesn't look satisfying like visually like when you hit something, it doesn't look satisfying. I guess the cool one would be the mage. Like not parodying the ice magic that she did, but
You have to know though that when it comes to Fable games, when you swing your sword and an enemy gets hit by it, they will die. It's the easiest game ever. Like, I think Fable there, remember, I don't have to bother with my sword or my gun. I just have to spam magic because there's no limit to it. I mean, you can just constantly spam it and things will die. And apparently they're passing that, that kind of difficulty to Fable Legends and they put it co-op. And I don't know, we'll see. I just like the concept of adding an extra player on the co-op side of this game.
yeah.
Actually, then again, I think it's just a co-op only. I don't think there's gonna be a campaign or anything like that.
Hopefully it's not just
Doubt it.
mission-based combat or against that fifth player that looks like he's losing all the time.
I hope there's a lot of depth into it. I hope that once, like, that thing, the demonstration we saw isn't when we saw that, and then that's pretty much just what we're gonna get, like, hours on end. Like, there's no much difference.
Well, there was some points where like the mage would freeze the enemy, then the bandit would do like a special finishing move that would shatter the opponent.
There's a bit of synergy with the classes.
Hopefully.
And then hopefully the villain gets more traps and all that. I don't know, I'm kind of curious just because of the whole villainy thing. If they didn't do that,
It would look generic without that, honestly.
yeah, I was asked another co-op, and I don't know. For me, I didn't like Fable 3 to begin with. I was a fan of Fable 1. I haven't played Fable 2. Maybe a lot of people don't like me for that, because that's supposed to be the best in the franchise, Fable 2.
Well, isn't there like a Fable collection coming out soon?
I think it's already out, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
And that comes with the HD remake one of the remastered of Fable 1. They pretty much sharpened the edges.
I heard that the
game.
collection is not that good though, so.
Oh well. Actually,
no, I mean, Fable. I like the first two Fables. Fable 3 was really bad, but
No, I mean
first two
the way they handled the collection isn't very good apparently.
Oh, really? Was it just like okay?
There's some
That's a
broken
shame.
parts.
just like Silent Hill,
Yeah, just like Silent Hill.
where fog isn't fog anymore.
Something
Wait,
like that.
it's an HD collection? I mean, Fable 2 and 3 are both...
No, it's a Fable. I'll have to double check, but it's like a collection or an anniversary, and they include Fable 1, which is like remastered. They pretty much sharpened
okay.
Upres.
or they fixed it up.
But so the problem is more on Fable 1, not necessarily the whole collection, is it? Or...
I don't know. Something's wrong though with the collection. Like,
Okay.
not just visually, like some parts are broken or something.
So anyway, going back, Fable Legends. It's
without the villain, it's another co-op game, really.
yeah. If you guys are huge fans of Fable, then I'm sure you guys are jumping into this one. But yeah, I'm curious.
I was
Just look at
hoping
them.
that after the villain set the traps, that he would appear in the stage as a playable character.
As a boss.
Yeah, or
That'd be
something
cool,
like
right?
that, and you're like
Yeah.
significantly stronger than the individual characters.
That would be pretty
But
cool.
it looked to be just the traps, so
We'll
who
see. There's
knows?
no release date on this, but
There's
shaping
still
up to
time
be
to
okay.
fix it,
there's still time to get
to make it better, more
more
alive.
appealing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Plenty of time to fix it still.
Yeah. So moving on.
Don't listen to Peter.
He wasn't there.
I know. But he's got
Was he in E3? I don't think he was in E3. I don't think
And
he was too,
he
he was too busy with Goddess. I think.
No, he tweeted that he doesn't like getting negative comments about his games anymore.
So he
Or
leaves
like-
the fucking.
So he should just stop making games then.
You know
Yeah.
how people make fun of his false promises?
Yeah.
He made a tweet about like how he doesn't like getting those messages anymore.
So he just.
He's just not going to E3. I guess.
So he doesn't like criticism in a
Getting
sense.
butthurt.
Gets too butthurt. He's too old.
You know who was watching
His
E3?
fragile heart can't take it.
Oh, come on. Give Peter some credit. He did make some of the greatest games ever.
Did he?
He made Populous. He made Black and
Oh,
White.
this was good. Yeah, Black and White's pretty good. And Fable 1 was a good game.
Fable
I'm
1
sorry.
and 2, yeah, I like Fable 1 and 2.
2, I've yet to play that damn game. Like, shit. I went straight to 3, that's my mistake. But yeah, next up is Microsoft's answer to Little Big Planet for me. Project
Spark.
Yeah, that's what I say. Oh, it's Little Big Planet.
You know, like, I forgot this game was a thing.
They
showed this last year. Then we haven't heard from it since.
True. It doesn't have a strong marketing like push as other titles, and I just know that they're on beta, and it's also available in PC. So what Project Spark is in a nutshell is it's pretty much you can make your own game, you can create your own world,
and then share it with others. Basically.
And you can share it with others, and then others can play your game. And then, people can play yours, and then you can start making a community, have friends, yada, yada, yada. Pretty much Little Big Planet in a nutshell. It looks very appealing, though. It looks really nice.
It looks pretty.
It sounds very ambitious, too.
It's very ambitious, yeah. It's very ambitious. And their statement, when they were announcing it, or they were showing it, was they have now 1 million creators working, like, doing content, making games for you to play around. And these aren't, when I say game, I'm talking about like any kind of game. You can play an adventure or maybe a puzzle.
There was one where it was a 2D side-scroller platformer.
Yeah, there was like a tower defense that happened, I think, in the trailer.
There was a board game in that trailer.
Yeah, there was also a board game. So, anything is possible, and I like the fact that they have something like this for Microsoft, just like how Sony has their own. And it looks really appealing for the kids.
It's weird. It's just weird for me that they showed what was more a cinematic trailer with like
bits of
gameplay.
They actually had nothing to show as far as gameplay went. It was just a pure
and apparently
cinematic potential thing, right?
Apparently the game was far deeper into development than what you would think from the trailer.
No, but if you think about it, how can you present that kind of game though? Like you show it generated
3 of the game types and not just the trailers.
That's true. That could have been they could have presented like a ready-made game. And
because when they showed this last year, my initial impressions was you could make your own world, but it would play like a third-person fantasy game, fantasy RPG. Because that's like even the art style of the CGI characters were that, right?
Yeah.
Then like they made castles and whatever. But then in this one, the tidbits of gameplay we got at the end, there were like sci-fi robots, there was like go-karts and everything.
There was, I don't know.
It was like space or whatever.
They could have shown at least like the fantasy aspect and maybe a completely different game mode after.
But which is weird because last year I think they did show gameplay, and this year we just got a CG trailer. I honestly think they might have done that because there probably just isn't anything significantly new to show from last year yet.
No, but it's interesting what people can do with this, because this is pretty much a game that they're releasing, and it's like they're pretty much giving people a canvas, and they can just do whatever with that canvas. And is it all only games? I think they can also do some films with this.
Who knows?
Because
probably it seems like
it's very ambitious, and I hope it's free. I doubt it's free.
It's like Little Big Planet 2, but only focus on the creation mode.
Yeah,
which actually sounds a lot better.
I mean, I would want to see, actually, for a game like this, like, what would convince me to see it is, like, I want to see, what do the creation tools look like? How easy is it to use?
That. They could have shown that.
You know, that sort of stuff, rather than what I could make. I mean, show me what I can make, but show me, like, how easy is it for me to do all that crazy stuff that that you're showing us already.
And this game will have tablet integration, right? With how you create the world.
Smart.
That's what they showed off last year.
Yeah, most likely. Project Spark, it's going to be available. It's not an Xbox One exclusive. It's going to be for 360 and my PC. I don't know. The kids will have a kick out of this. I didn't play much of Little Big Planet. I just pretty much played the basic levels, and I was pretty much done with it.
I hope that like all the creation with the created worlds and games would be available on all platforms. I mean, on all the released platforms.
I hope it's mixed together.
That would be like the best case scenario.
with Project Spark, they kind of closed off that announcement with something kind of a shocker, actually. I'm not too sure why they even bothered with this. Conquer?
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't know why is
That's
Conquer
so
in this
weird.
game?
Why? What? Like Conquer shows up and apparently will be part of the. Well, not part of the. Yeah, he's part of it. You can make a Conquer game in Project Spark now.
Which
Is that?
I don't get.
That's how I got it. That's how I got it. Like, oh, okay. You guys want us to make the Conquer game.
Even Conker said himself, like, almost 10 years without a new game. Guess we'll have to
Yeah.
make one our own.
So I don't know. That's I think it's a kick in the nuts for whoever
yeah,
wanted to
kicking
do
your Conker nuts.
and your Conquer nuts. Because I think what's the last time you saw a Conquer game? I think like 2003.
It's been a while.
Since Conker's bad for a day.
Yeah, so they just throw a known character into Project Spark just because right now, obviously the reason why they're doing it is because there's no face in Project Spark right now. It's not like where Little Big Planet had Sackboy, so maybe it's just them like, we need a face. We need someone to be in front of
But of
Project
all
Spark.
characters, Conquer really? I mean, Conquer should
I
get
don't know.
his own
I guess someone just put his hand in the barrel and just grabbed whatever he had.
There was like, well, what's Rare doing? Not Conker. Okay, we'll take that.
Not doing
Yes.
anything.
Throw that guy in there. There. Conquer Project Spark. Boom.
Oh man.
It's a waste. It's a waste. Okay, if there's one thing that Microsoft needs, it's also platformers, because they don't have platformers.
They have
So-
Rayman. But everyone has Rayman though.
Everybody has Rayman. iOS has Rayman. Like, Conquer could I don't know, it's a missed opportunity. Conquer could have been their platform.
and how the Conker game even works, can you even remake that kind of game?
Anything is possible. Why not?
Can you record your own vulgarity and make it dialogue in your game?
I hope so. I
That would
also,
be
but yeah,
something.
there. Whoever was expecting a Conquer game, get Project Spark and make your own. Sorry.
Just make it yourself.
Make it yourself. Next up is a new IP. Actually, it's the first time we're going to mention a new IP, finally. And this new IP is Ori and the Blind Forest, which actually came out as one of the prettiest reveals.
Yeah,
this
it's
E3.
by Moon Studios.
Is it an indie?
It looks to be. I mean,
It's very indie.
It looks,
yeah.
it looks indie.
we all got a limbo-ish vibe at the beginning.
Yes, very much on the Limbo vibe.
Then
And-
it has that Miyazaki anime feel.
Yeah,
It,
Came out
look,
of-
it looks like a 2D platformer.
Yeah.
It's
saw-
really sad too. Like, I mean, it looks really pretty, but then that big black
the
thing
big
died
fat
or
guy
something.
dies at the end.
did he die? It looks like he just fainted.
Maybe he's in a coma and you have to wake him up
I don't know.
with magic.
I think we're just jumping the gun here. He didn't die. He must have just closed his
He's
eyes.
probably the reason why you have to save him or something.
Yeah, maybe. Just like how brothers, you have to you have to give your
You save
son.
your dad or something.
Yeah. Ori and the Blind Forest. Check it out, the trailer. It looks really pretty. The art style alone is early enough to pique your interest. We don't know much about this game though, but it's good to see these digital only titles coming to Xbox One. Hopefully we see more of it. It's like their first, it's like their Limbo. And then hopefully we see more out of it. Check that out. There's no release date or anything. Next up, this one's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Halo, the Master Chief Collection is now officially announced for Xbox One.
I think we have to take this also as a Halo Master Chief Collection plus Halo 5 announcement, in one.
Yeah, that's how they announced Halo 5, right? Pretty much.
It's sort of together. But wow, this package is amazing. There's so much value.
Yeah, this is not the typical collection where they just get 4 games, they package it in one box, and that's a collection.
Like
no,
what Capcom does.
Like what every other company does. They just let's put all 3 games, just throw it out there again, and say collection. That's it.
This is amazing.
No, this is how you do a collection for me. Now, if other companies can do this, we have a whole different meaning of collection already. And what this is pretty much Halo 1 to Halo 5, 4, sorry.
Halo 1 Combat Evolved.
To Halo 4.
Halo 4.
To Halo 4.
And it's all those games in one disc.
And
the Halo Master Chief
With
Collection.
all their maps.
with all the multiplayer maps from each game and
all the DLCs, yes.
Halo 2 will also be remastered into HD, much like how Halo 1 received a remaster.
Yep. And all those multiplayer games from those Halos will have their own dedicated servers. They will be up and running once you want to play Halo 2 multiplayer, Halo 3, Halo 4. It'll be all up. And
apparently Halo 2 will be running on its original network from the original Xbox days.
Yeah, that too. So
that made people go woo and happy and cheery.
And the other cool feature that they mentioned was they had a remix feature where you could where you could basically take your favorite levels from different Halo games and put them together into a custom playthrough.
Yeah, you can pretty much make a playlist where I kind of want to play like the tank mission in Halo 3, and then you can I want to play the last mission in Halo 2. You can make your whole Halo session. Halo campaign session.
You can relive all those great Master Chief moments in a row.
Yeah, you can put
all the good stuff, all the good moments from Halo from the campaign into one playlist.
All the Warthog levels in one.
Yeah, you can do that. You can actually do that if you want to. All the vehicle versions all in one level. That's actually pretty awesome. I just like the fact that I can play any game on the fly. I don't have to get any discs. I don't have that. It's all on the UI, and it's a treat.
Now,
also,
what else is on this disc is
Also there's also a feature where, because like in Halo 2, you can. They didn't really mention this in the press conference, but I listened to an interview. Halo 2, I'm not too sure if it's Halo 1 and Halo 3 as well, but Halo 2, it got a remastered version, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
On a press of a button, I think select, you can instantly go to the original graphic if you want to.
Yep, you can do that.
Yeah, they kind of showed that off too.
They did. Okay, they're there. Okay.
You can actually do that already with the Halo 1 remaster. Just push a button and it switches between original graphics and remastered graphics.
That's new. That's new for me, and that's amazing.
That's really cool. Yeah.
And there's no FPS drops from what I'm seeing when I saw the demonstration. Like it was like he was doing it
1080p.
He was doing it on the fly. He was actually doing a fight, and then he was just like switching graphics as if it's just nothing. And that's a treat.
Yeah.
Oh man, imagine doing those Warthog bomb jumps, then constantly mashing that button.
Oh my god.
see if you can break the game.
Xbox One can't take that. This is how collections should be. Hopefully, future collections or like big, for like really known franchises, like this is what they do in the future. Because I'd like to see, I don't know, Resident Evil maybe? Like,
this way? Yeah, that would be cool. But this is Capcom we're talking about. So.
When you mentioned the remastered mode, it's not just like typical high-res textures. It's like they actually added a few environment background details
they made it,
as well.
Exactly. They kind of brought it up to the visual
modern level, yeah.
Yeah.
They put an extra tree.
The floors look completely different, like from brown they're like purple and shit.
So 343 Industries really did a huge amount of work in this one. It's not like they just dumped it in one disc. They actually did some fixing, which
there was some care and money put into this one.
Yeah, and this is not the only one. It's actually more like a three-part announcement, really. Like Halo Master Chief Collection.
Well, they also mentioned that will go with this collection is Halo Nightfall, the TV
show, live action TV.
The
show.
live action show, which will basically introduce us to the new character in Halo 5, and then lead into Halo 5 itself.
Yeah, which is they're shooting it now, and this is a TV series or a web series? It's a TV series, right?
It's exclusive to Xbox One, I believe.
It's an Xbox One series.
It's not for Netflix,
right? But you know someone's gonna rip that shit to YouTube.
Yeah, let's just wait.
But not only that, they also mentioned in this collection that, correct me if I'm wrong, you get better access to Halo 5 Guardians if you get this collection. And because the beta is coming, I think, early, around holiday of this year. I don't know, that's really big, that's a big enough incentive really for a lot of Halo fans. Like, oh my god, I got to play Halo 5 beta if I buy this awesome collection.
Yeah, and remember, they showed us a trailer of this, which was basically red versus blue. The trailer.
A CG red versus blue. And
was it CG?
It looked CG.
It was CG, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I thought it was gameplay.
Xbox wasn't that good. I don't know. I'm not enticed on the whole Halo 5 one. I'm just really impressed by the collection.
It's
Just that alone is enough.
It's a huge added incentive to get it.
Yeah, it's huge added, but I don't know. I'm pretty impressed.
I think it's hopefully it's the way how you do like collections like this.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
moving forward, Capcom.
I was when they were like rumored like, oh, there's gonna be a Master Chief collection. I was like, ugh, and they're gonna put it in the
Yeah,
Microsoft.
so was I.
desktop.
I was like, collection again.
Yeah, but why would you bother to waste your time on that?
And
But
then
no.
you see this and like, oh, it,
I mean,
it
okay,
can be
this
done
has
right.
meat. Yeah, this has meat, and then this has a true collection. It has true value to it. So
Unlike Capcom, where they get like a junior designer to make the UI, then just
And they
throw
sl-
the game in there,
they slap a Mega Man game every now and
and it's
then.
broken.
And yeah,
Have you seen the UI for the Mega Man X collection? It's horrible.
is that bad?
It's just like it looks like a Flash game splash screen.
Oh, Capcom.
So bad.
Oh, Capcom. Next up, we have another IP, which is actually it's a digital-only IP, and it is actually the makers of Limbo, which is Playdead Studios, and they've revealed a new game called Inside.
Yeah.
And I
I'm
think Miggy's
excited
really
for that.
excited for this one, yeah. And this is another Limbo-ish.
It's made by the same people who did Limbo.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying because like the last the other IP that was announced was also gave me the whole Limbo feel.
Oh,
This
Ori.
one is from Limbo.
So you
developers.
get 2 Limbo fixes.
Yeah.
I
And-
think that Ori is gonna be more like action platformer, because you saw in the video that he was jumping across areas with spikes.
Yeah.
And
Whereas,
it had I think mild combat because there's enemy types.
yeah.
This one is really just Limbo, where it's 2D side-scrolling platforming.
Yeah.
I'm guessing puzzle platforming the same way.
hmm
It looks really good.
It looks really good, and it's a weird name, Inside.
I think it makes sense. Because like the premise of it looks like you're
Well, yeah, based on the last thing we saw, it kind of made sense.
like farmed humans in a compound, and I
I
guess
like-
you're trying to escape or find someone.
Yeah, because like you try to blend in, like you just walk in, and then I like the fact that everything's all like you're the only one that stands out.
You're the only colored one. Everyone
You're the
else
only
is
colored
gray.
one. Yeah, so that's a good touch, and I'm pretty intrigued by it. God, I hope we see more of this from Xbox One. So yeah, Inside, check out the trailer. It's pretty cool. Next up,
The thing is though,
what's your?
I guess like Limbo, where it came out on Xbox 360 first for the first year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a limited time exclusive. It's not gonna be.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah, Limbo's available for like all now, right? At this point.
except Wii U. Yeah, it came out.
We'll get to you, Nintendo, in a bit.
It-
We'll
it's,
get to you.
It was an Xbox 360 exclusive for the first year, and then it came out on PC and PS3 after that, and now on Vita even. So I'm guessing this will have the same treatment.
Yeah. So, but I like seeing those
Yeah,
kinds
it
of games
looks
come out.
really good too.
Looks pretty good. Okay. Next up. Well, speaking of all the indie stuff,
Wait.
they briefly mentioned it.
Before we jump in, did you notice that Phil Spencer did his thing again, where he came out wearing an indie game shirt?
Yeah.
And
He changed his shirt.
to be
Just for that.
specific, he wore a Limbo shirt.
Yeah, he wore a Limbo shirt.
Oh man.
No, well, in Phil Spencer's defense, he's always raved about Limbo. He's always talked about Limbo.
This is a thing that he does like in every press conference.
Oh, they're changing the shirts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think even Sony made fun of that.
Oh, really?
I think last year they did. But oh well. All right. Next
Yeah,
up.
anyway, well, speaking of indie, Xbox briefly talked about the ID at Xbox, which is pretty much their independent developers publishing program for Xbox One.
Yep.
In a nutshell, it's pretty much them strengthening their indie side, and it makes them. I don't know. It's an easier process, I guess, for independent developers, so they can self-publish their digital games on Xbox One. So it's pretty much giving these developers the tools and support needed to hopefully get the success they want. And it's good that actually they branded their indie program, and hopefully, because like from what I remember, Microsoft, it's the hardest one to have like indies like penetrate. Like whereas Sony and of course and PC games, it's very easy. Microsoft is one of the hardest
Oh,
ones
because
now.
you have to pay like a lot of fees.
Yeah, it's more
Even just
expensive.
keep it
The
up there.
process is longer. Yeah, they're trying to alleviate and make it more easier.
It's a good move.
So hopefully, yeah, strengthen the indie because like Sony understands that indie is very important nowadays, and because like when we saw last year, Sony had it's like filled with indie stuff, like maybe 10-15% of their presentation. Now Microsoft's doing it again, strengthening that side. So good to see that. Right after that was a big, not really a megaton, but more like I didn't think it was gonna come out. It was a shocker. They actually revealed the new Tomb Raider on Xbox
Which
One.
has the worst title
The
ever.
worst title.
Which is funny. Rise of the Tomb Raider, coming out on 2015. It's the sequel to the reboot.
Yep.
Rise of
And-
the Planet of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah. With James Franco.
And it was
Apparently,
pure-
apparently people like on GAF, I think, noticed that they registered this trademark a week before E3 under the same name. So I think some people already knew this was going to come out.
Oh, really?
But we're hoping that it's not the title that we were going to get, but we still got Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Actually, I wasn't expecting a Tomb Raider. I'm not that burnt out. I wasn't like, oh, I want a new one already.
Yeah, I expected it to be a next year thing.
Yeah, maybe a next year thing, because Tomb Raider is still kind of fresh in my head.
Yeah,
in
and
my
they
mind.
just released the definitive edition this year.
Yeah, the hair edition.
The hair edition.
Yeah. So, it's cool. Well, we'll see more of it later this year, and it'll be out, hopefully, 2015, but it'll be delayed and all that. But aside from the name, are you guys excited for another one?
I am. I like the first one, even though they
Yeah.
didn't show anything about this. If even if it's like the same gameplay as the last one with a different storyline, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, because the
So-
new one had solid gameplay.
Yeah, I agree. I won't mind if they didn't really change much for this second one, because they had a good foundation for the reboot.
I'm just glad it happened because I remember there's a point in time when they were saying like Square doesn't consider it a financial success.
Oh yeah, because
and all this
it's a
bullshit.
AAA title that had a
Yeah,
lot of
so-
money put into it.
No, but obviously Square is not like throwing Tomb Raider out the window, because not only did they announce Rise of the Tomb Raider, they also announced a sequel to
Lara
Guardian
Croft
of Light.
and the Guardian of Light.
Yeah, then there's also another, it's a top-down shooter. It's now co-op. Again, more co-op.
4 players.
4 players. Like, there's so many co-op. People want to play with friends now, all of a sudden. But yeah, Tomb Raider Rise of the Tomb Raider. I was about to say Tomb Raider Rise of the Tomb Raider, so redundant. Next year. And I'm pretty excited. Next up is another game. I'm so excited. Witcher 3. We got a good demo of it. A good game, a good sense of the open world from Witcher 3. And it's the reason why I'm playing Witcher 2 right now, actually. I'm so excited for that game.
This was next to Sunset Overdrive. This is probably my favorite part of the show.
Yeah.
Was this the gameplay trailer of The Witcher 3? I'm pretty sure what they showed was again slightly scripted, but
I hope not. I hope.
The combat
That's-
itself
that-
looked really good.
It looked typical.
And wow,
For sure.
like the graphics were amazing. So
Yeah, it's starting to look like, as we see more of this game, it's starting to look like when the developers said that they're kind of pushing already the next gen consoles to close to their limit. It's starting to look that way, because the graphics do look amazing. The combat, everything, the open world, how big this world's gonna be. It's an open world game, and I don't know. I'm pretty excited for it, and hopefully we see more of that. Because the gameplay demo was pretty much a Griffon hunt, like what Will said. I hope it looked kind of scripted, but I'm hoping it isn't. I hope that's just how we hunt for those monsters. Yeah, that was a pretty good demo. Got me excited. Next up is, this is one that was kind of a curveball. Phantom Dust.
Phantom Dust is I can't say too much about it but apparently this is a cult classic from original Xbox.
I don't know anything about it.
I don't know either.
We have a friend though who's super into it, right? Like What was his name?
Oh, he's not really a friend.
I don't know. We just know he was the only one, like Brad from 4Player Podcast. He's the only one who talks about it.
Which I think he actually knew this was coming out, which is why he
How?
started playing it again.
Why?
The GAF.
Oh, NeoGaf covered it. And,
I think domain registrations again.
Yeah,
That's why he started
so
playing it again, but he still lost his shit when they announced it.
it's a classic Xbox game. It's a third person. From what I know from the previous one, it's a third person, like, I don't know, magic fantasy kind of thing with modern setting. And well, the only thing I got out of this was the fact, okay, fine, there's Phantom Dust, but I like the fact that I think Microsoft has something great going here. Like, why not reboot those really classic games to next gen, like Phantom Dust from Xbox and stuff like that? Like, wouldn't it be cool to like see like Sony's Spyro or stuff like that, like Legacy of Kain? Like, I want to see more of that out of Microsoft and Sony. That's the one thing.
These remakes, I guess, but
why not, right?
it's hit or miss, I guess. I mean, a lot of these IPs they don't really have the rights to. Legacy of Kain, I know, is still with Silicon Knights. Are those guys still alive? I have no idea.
No, I don't think Silicon Knights are alive anymore.
No, but my point is, like, the ones that were classics, considered classic, they bring it to next gen. Like Phantom Dust, not many people know about it, but it's a potential franchise that they could just revive.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like how like Tomb Raider was revived, I want to see those exclusive first party classics to come back. And that's what I saw out of this when they announced.
I think they've been trying the whole reboot thing, because like last year we saw a lot of them come out like when the year started.
Yeah.
But I guess they should focus on the more obscure titles now.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the mainstream ones are like, even Devil May Cry got a remake.
I can tell you one game that I would really love to see a remake of, also from the original Xbox era. It's a From Software game, Otogi. Have you guys heard of that game?
Otomi?
Nope.
Otogi, Otogi.
I think I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another game that was on original Xbox, developed by From Software, which are now the Demon Soul, Dark Soul guys, which I think would make a pretty cool remake. But
yeah, stuff like that. Because I think there's a lot that was like lost in translation.
It's obscure enough that people may not really remember it from the Xbox days. But I mean, this Phantom Dust stuff. I mean, the CG trailer looked good, but it really didn't tell you a lot of what. Unless you're familiar with it, you wouldn't really get it, I think.
The only thing we got is like, it's an Xbox classic. Okay, cool. The ones who are huge fans, of course, they lost their shit. But yeah, we don't know much about it. But I just like the fact that that's the kind of, hopefully that's the direction, because this isn't the only game that they mentioned here. We'll get to it in a bit. Next up, after they revealed Phantom Dust, we got some Tom Clancy, The Division gameplay demo, which is pretty much the same kind of demo. It's a different setting, but it's pretty much the whole scripted Ubisoft-ish demo. When they showed this demo for The Division, they announced again, their exclusive DLC for Xbox One players. I heard it a lot during this presentation, as much as it was okay, but that was like a lot of money spent just to get exclusive content for specific games. Tom Clancy's The Division, how's it shaping up for you guys?
Again, they showed...
It looks the same to me.
Exactly. They showed another CG trailer. It didn't... CG. It looked like a very scripted trailer. Very obvious from the communications that were going, how scripted it was.
I will never find friends that play like that.
No, exactly, right. But for the most part, like, it still doesn't tell me that much of what's going on in the game. Like... Yeah,
there's no story. There's no explanation of what else we could do aside from, joining those events or whatnot, or playing with friends. It's very obscured. I mean, I'm not obscure. It's more... We need more information, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like the demo, the reveal last year was more exciting because at the end they zoomed out and showed the scale of the world.
Yeah, right? The fact that it's an online game. Now, they kind of did the same thing. They didn't show
it's like constantly online. No, but they just showed that single thing. They didn't, like, go outside of that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa. Someone's going robotic here. But The Division, I'm actually more skeptical. I'm more actually worried about the fact that we're not seeing anything new out of The Division. Oh, Biggie's still going. Biggie's still jerking up. Let him finish.
Another mission happening all the way across the
There
map.
you go. Wow, that was a huge lag.
Showed the transition or whatever.
Sorry, Viggs, we got none of that.
I stopped kanina pa.
I didn't get that, but yeah, the Division, I'm worried lang. Because the fact that it's taking so long, just like in Watch Dogs where it took them so long to actually just start marketing the different kinds of features for this game and why we want to be super excited.
Right.
So, because they just showed the same shit yet. Still, we don't have characters or things or new stuff. That's what I'm saying. Hopefully we see something at the end of the year. Because as much as I'm excited for the Division, I'm now kind of wary. I'm keeping my distance now. Because Watch Dogs, like you guys know our impressions of Watch Dogs. It's a great game, but we were expecting more because they hyped it up in a way. Next up is another new IP, and this is one for Miggy because he likes them platinum games. It's an Xbox One.
Games too. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
it's for both of you. Platinum Games is working on an Xbox One exclusive, which is Scalebound. I don't know what that is.
I don't know, man. As much as I love Platinum Games, like
how did that feel for you?
They didn't show anything. They just showed a CGI trailer.
Yeah, they just showed like what could be.
And that's not really what Platinum does. I feel like they showed the CGI trailer because Microsoft told them to.
Yeah, I think they weren't ready.
Otherwise, they would have
show
shown gameplay.
No, or maybe they're not ready to show gameplay. Maybe it's like we have this. Like maybe they just.
This has been rumored for a while now.
It is.
They've been working on an Xbox exclusive. I think like last year it was mentioned.
And now they officially announced it's Scalebound, and I don't know. It looks like it's gonna come out more like maybe a Bayonetta-ish kind of game.
I don't know.
It may be a cross between like Panzer Dragoon with hack and slash of DMC
maybe like Draken Guard.
Yeah,
because we saw a guy that like has like he starts to transform and has these like armor, like scaly armor,
and then he has a big pet dragon also, right? So.
Yeah, fighting other dragons,
fighting with other dragons too.
Oh, the
Power Ranger dragons, because they all had like different colors.
Yeah, so it's kind of it kind of came like a Dragon Guard-ish kind of feel. We don't know much about this, but at least we know Microsoft's getting it exists, and Microsoft's getting more IPs other than the traditional shooters.
And like Hideki Kamiya came out to reveal this, but we're not even sure if he's the one directing the game.
Yeah,
if they announced that he was directing it, that would have been like a little bit more hype.
True.
But then we didn't get anything else aside from the CGI trailer.
No, and Platinum Games is pretty busy because they're still doing Bayonetta 2 and all that. So actually, it's good to see Platinum Games is coming out to be a bigger studio because
they need the work, man.
They need a lot of work. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And then right after that, not another IP, but another remake, which pretty much closed the show for Microsoft, Crackdown.
Which is Crackdown, which is a sequel / reboot of the franchise. I think, where
is it? Yeah, what is it?
It wasn't very confirmed. It just says the title is just Crackdown. It's not Crackdown 3.
Yeah, but I think it's a reboot.
So we're assuming it's a reboot.
Even the city design looks a little different. It's more Tron-ish.
It took me a while to get it though.
Yeah, like at first, like what is this? Then after a while, is that Crackdown?
Yeah, all those explosions and the past, like, okay, now this is Crackdown.
But they didn't show agility orbs, so that's something. I hope.
It was the only thing that could pop in my head when I was thinking, like, what else could this be? The only thing I think of was Crackdown, and then.
For those who don't know, Crackdown is Microsoft's open world franchise, which I think it debuted with the Xbox 360, right? The first Crackdown.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
And then they made the sequel of it a year or so ago. Does Crackdown really have a big following? Like for me, it's always been a fun game, but it's never been a great game.
The first one was received really well. The second one, not so much.
I remember that the first one, like, I've actually had people saying that if you guys want to get an Xbox 360, consider Crackdown, consider Gears of War. Like Crackdown was in that list of like Gears of War,
right?
Like those games that you have to get, like Halo, Alan Wake. Crackdown was also part of it. So it was really well received, and to hear that a new Crackdown or whatever, reboot or whatever, is coming to Xbox One, I think that's a good way to end the show. That, they're bringing the stuff that people like in the Xbox franchise, like Crackdown, and then I guess Phantom Dust.
Yeah, sure, but that's a weird game to end with.
It was. I was actually expecting, I was actually expecting a Halo 5 Guardians thing, or maybe a Gears of War reveal. That was my expectations. Or
they could have ended with Sunset Overdrive.
They could have,
especially with that early trailer.
But
it's something. It had to be something that we weren't expecting, and this is something I wasn't expecting at all.
Yeah,
me neither.
But that pretty much wrapped up Xbox. The only complaint I forgot to mention this in the start. The only complaint I had was I think it was too CG focused. There was too much.
There was much demos that compared to last year maybe.
The actual gameplay that was shown all seemed quite scripted. It didn't seem like actual
Ubisoft
live gameplay.
That's what they do though. They show. I guess
I'm calling the kettle black here because that should be expected, right? But
that is, yeah. No, but I agree with the fact that it's more CG than demos, because I'm used to the fact that when the demos are shown, you see them a player play on stage playing the game. We didn't see much of that, but I don't know. For me, it's a minor. Overall, Microsoft kind of did well in terms of what they want to.
It did well, and there was no Kinect talk. There was nothing messed up. Everything worked properly.
Yeah, nothing they didn't spend time on something that's already been established. Where the TV features have been established. Kinect, everybody knows what Kinect does and all that. They don't have to bother to spoon feed on what these are. It's there. What they focused on is the fact that there are Xbox games coming out that you maybe would like to play, and that's what they did. They threw a lot of nice indie titles. They strengthened the fact that they'll support more indie games. They gave exclusives that would entice you to play it, like Sunset Overdrive, Crackdown, and they gave some incentives for people who are interested in really AAA third-party titles like Evolve, Tomb Raider, not Tomb Raider. What's the other one that's exclusive content like Dragon Age? They covered their bases all in terms of games, and of course they still also cater to the Halo community. So overall, I think they did really well.
Yep, I think it was a very good effort from Microsoft, and
it's the most entertaining one overall.
I'd say it's in my top 3 for sure for the press conferences.
Microsoft, that's done. We'll cut it short here. We'll separate it because we're going through it one by one.
Yep.
So
we've got a lot to cover.
We have a lot to cover because that's what we did right now is pretty much what happened in the press conference from the start of the event all the way till the end. They started with Call of Duty and they ended with Crackdown, and it was all about games. Yeah, let us know what you think of the Microsoft press conference. Give us your impressions of it. And next up will be Sony. Not Sony. No, it's not Sony. Next up will be the worst one, I think. EA. Yeah, so we'll talk about EA and what went down in their press conference, which is actually pretty short.
Yeah, it's
we might mix EA
and
Ubisoft, and possibly depends.
I think we can mix EA and Ubisoft into one. Yeah.
Yeah. This is an E3 special. We'll have the usual. I don't think we'll have the usual episode per week. We're just gonna try to cover all the press conference, and that's pretty much episode 36.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be several parts, basically.
Yeah, several parts. So tune in. Thanks for listening in. We'll cut it right for now. If you want to hear our impressions or the breakdown of what happened in E3, go to our website, www.toomuchgaming.com. That's 2 with the number 2. Do follow us. We'll let you know on the next one, because I'm sure we're done recording with the other press conference, but we'll inform you when. I think I'll try to release it one after the other.
Yep.
When Tuesday's this is out on Tuesday, release it on Wednesday or maybe the day after. So we'll just let you know through Twitter and Facebook. So do like and subscribe. If you like what you're hearing here, of course, we're in iTunes, so do subscribe there, rate, comment. If you want to say hi, you can also email us at thetmgblog@gmail.com. And yeah, email us your impressions of E3 if you'd like to. And that's about it for now. We'll just take a break, I guess, and then we'll continue with part 2.
Yep.
So, see ya.